Hi there guys and girls, a bit of tech for you today. This beautiful little micro action camera from Hawkeye Firefly. I've reviewed and tested several cameras from Hawkeye over the last couple of years, normal style action cameras, plus FPV micro cameras like this, which is called the Fortress, which comes with optional transmitter for FPV flying. They've always been really good products with very good video quality, and it's a good company. Been going a long time, lots of support, firmware updates and so on. This is actually a self-contained FPV stroke action camera because in addition to FPV it will record direct to the camera, and so you can just mount this directly on a model aircraft and it will record, and it can also feed you back a video signal for FPV. But before we look at this in a bit more depth, let's see what else you get in the package here. You've got a USB lead here with this connector, which initially I thought looked like a micro HDV, but in fact it is a type of USB, and that plugs in just here so that you can charge, retrieve your files, or plug into a TV, look at what's on screen on the TV, which also comes to changing settings, which I'll come to in a bit. You could either chop the lead and modify it to feed your video transmitter on a drone or model, or you can buy the lead that I linked below from Hawkeye, which will also allow you to control the camera from your transmitter. You've also got this little protective gel case, and incidentally this is actually water resistant, but water resistant doesn't mean more waterproof, but it is water resistant, splash proof, presumably when it's in that case, or definitely when it's in that case, because water's going to get into these sockets here. You've also got this little mounting bracket which the camera will sit on somehow like that, with a 1/4 inch tripod mount on it, and of course if it's in the gel case it's well protected, plus you've got some velcro straps so that you can strap it on, or strap it on like that onto a model aircraft in some way. I'll come to that in a bit. You've got some stickers in Chinese which probably say Hawkeye Firefly, but I don't read Chinese. And you've got the manual, which is pretty basic. Tells you some of the stuff but doesn't actually go into a great deal of detail about how you change the settings with this little gadget, which is what I'm coming to next. But before that, another quick look at the camera. Micro card slot will take up to 64 gig. I'm just using a 32 gig Samsung Evo. They do recommend class 10 or above, and it goes in logo side away from the lens. There's a little picture there actually to show you how it goes in, just like so. Reset hole, some ventilation, this little socket, which as I said is actually a kind of micro USB, and FPV out. Just two buttons here. You've got the power button, which is also the shutter button, and M for changing mode, and this is the top of the camera. On this end you've got a little socket here for plugging in this unit here, which allows you to change the settings, and I'm going to go through that in a minute, so be patient. Built-in battery, charge time's around 2 or 3 hours they say, and working time 45 minutes, 60 minutes. Default when you actually turn it on is 3-minute video clips, and it will loop record, which means it will just keep going indefinitely. Another couple of things about it: the weight. It's just 31 grams, which is less than half the weight of most action cameras. Does record at 1080/60 or 2.5K, as I've said. Lovely video quality. For FPV flying it's actually got low latency. Now latency means the time lag between the motion and what you're seeing on a screen. It's got an on-screen display as well if you're using it for FPV. It tells you the battery voltage and a couple of other things. Lens is 160 degrees, which is just slightly narrower than most action cameras. Quite a nice angle really. So I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted to say about that. Bit hard to actually demonstrate this, but here goes. Operation. 3-second press of the power button and it turns on with a blue light, which is 1080/60 frames a second. Press the shutter stroke power button and it's recording now at 1080/60. Press again, stop. Press and hold the M for mode button and the colours change to a red. Now that's 2.5 at 30 frames a second video. Press the shutter, recording video at 2.5. Press again, stop. Press and hold again. And I don't know if you can see, but it's blue and red. Doesn't show very well. That is stills mode. Press the shutter, gives a beep, takes a still, and press again and you're back in 1080-60. Got a nice little beep there to tell you. So that was straightforward enough. And press and hold power for 3 seconds to turn it off. Now when it's charging and turned off, you get a green light there. So as I said, it is a self-contained little action camera stroke FPV camera, and you can mount it direct on anything you want, like remote controlled vehicles, model aircraft, drones, pretty much anything. So all in all, great little action camera and great quality video, as you'll see in my test clips. Now what I'm hoping to do is, if the wind stops blowing a gale, which it is mount this micro camera on my Dancing Wings buzzard and get some aerial video footage from that. And I've got this set up so that actually I can move the camera and pan around like that while I'm flying. But lightweight camera, ideal for mounting on RC planes and so on. So hopefully after this you'll see some aerial video. There's a link to the Dancing Wings Mini Eagle down in comments below, but lovely model to fly, really slow, glides beautifully, looks like the real thing in the air. But now let's have a look at this gadget for changing settings. The manual doesn't actually go into changing settings, but this little gadget here plugs in like so, and if you plug in the USB here and then plug into your TV, turn on the camera and plug in, and as you can see I've got live video out to my TV, which is the easiest way to change settings. Now I mentioned, as you can see the on-screen display there, you've got voltage, you've got logos that you can turn off. In fact, I think I've already turned it off. Plus you've got duration of the flight. Incidentally, you can trigger the camera remotely with a lead that I'll link. This lead here actually you can plug in and remotely turn on and off the camera from your transmitter. But anyway, to get back to what I was actually trying to show you here, and of course you've got battery level up there, and you've got over 5 volts here, which I guess is indicating the power supply for the camera. So having done that, if I now press the left hand one, what happens? There you go. Press the left hand button. Video resolution, which you see there is 1080-60. Video quality you can change. Video clip time. You can scroll down through these using the down button. Loop video. External voltage, not quite sure what that is, not explained. You've got time lapse. Quick record, which I think means as soon as you power up it will start recording. Sound recording, turn on and off. Mic volumes at 50%. Metering, I've changed it from spot to multi because I like to get the overall view. For some reason it's already got some settings changed a bit, like exposure values. White balance says it's Hawkeye. Colour natural, effect normal, contrast. I've just left those settings as they were at default. The video I've looked at looks fine to me. Sharpness. So once you've gone through those, suppose I want to change video resolution, press enter, and then I can scroll through between these 2.5K, 720 at 60. I prefer 1080 at 60. And then press enter, that's the one in the middle. So that shows that. You can do that for any of these settings. Now down at the bottom there you can see you've got a little picture of a camera, and you've got a little picture of a spanner, which I guessed was settings. Turn it that way, press the right hand button on this little gadget, and you can turn beep on and off, LEDs on and off, automatic power off, which I've actually changed to never, clock settings, date format, stamp, that's the logo in the corner, I've turned that off, language, on-screen display control, TV system, Flicker, that's for your flicker rate depending whether you're a 50 Hz area or 60. UK is 50 Hz. Image rotate if you want to turn it upside down, and reset, and format the card, SD card info, and that's the firmware version. So press the left hand one again and I've come out of it. So that is how you change settings with the little gadget here. Not too bad, or you could do it looking at your FPV goggles. And of course, if I press short press of the power button, starts recording. As you can see, it's got a countdown here. Here. This is weird. Short press again. Well, I hope you've got the idea of that. Not difficult. I'm sure you'd work it out. If I can work it out, anybody can. So that just about wraps this up. It's time for some test clips. Look at my knobbly knees.